I read this comment a while back, and this guy was saying that he used to jump onto every single framework that came out. Every single framework that came out. And then what was surprising to him was that as much as he knew all of these frameworks, when he went to interviews, he couldn't get the gig. He struggled to get a gig, but he knows all of these frameworks until it clicked to him that actually he knows a lot of frameworks, but he doesn't understand the fundamentals. So what are we talking about when we're talking about fundamentals? One, he couldn't solve problems. That might sound surprising, but what is a developer? A developer is someone who can solve problems by definition. Nowhere in that definition does it say a developer who can work with X framework, a developer who can or who knows X number of frameworks. A developer is someone who can solve a problem. That's it. Now, how they go about solving the problem as the tool that they use to solve the problem, that's just a preference, but it's not part of the definition. So the question becomes, can you solve a problem? Yes, you know all of these 10 frameworks, but can you solve a problem? What kind of a problem are we talking about? So let's say in the company, there is this problem where your screen loads time, the page, it takes a bit longer to load on mobile screen. Can you solve that problem? That's a problem. But what tends to happen over time, a majority of developers, 95% of them, or 95% of what they do is integration into some microservices or some other frameworks. 95%. And then the remaining 5%, it's them doing an actual code, stuff that they actually think and deploy code on. It's 5% on the entirety of the project. Then that number becomes even lower when you think of, well, in a company with different departments, you're only working on a portion of that project, then that number significantly decreases, because now you're no longer part of it. Well, you are part of a bigger project, but you're really part of this 10% because they only want you to work on this section. Then on that section, again, you're integrating your 95% of the work that you do is if it's framework, and you only get to code about 5%. Over time, that's a problem because really you're not growing, and you can't really say, well, you can solve problems if